Good evening and welcome to the nighttime heat right here on Prom FM 105.5. This program is being relayed by Radio Gegema in Nimakari, Radio Kwatika in Bonkari, and of course, Radio Wologisi in Lofa County. We are streaming live as usual on Prom FM Monrovia 105.5. Again, Prom FM Monrovia 105.5. And we are also streaming live on our Facebook and, of course, our YouTube channel. That's the Nighttime Heat Facebook and YouTube channel. Want you to join tonight, either online or by radio. And, of course, when you are watching online, kindly share the show. Share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight on the Nighttime Heat. It promises to be very, very interesting tonight. So please, I want you to share the show and watch the show as well, so that you can be informed and educated as well. Well, my panelists are all in studio, and of course, we want to sincerely apologize for coming on late. It was due to some technical problem beyond our capacity, but however, that's been sorted out now. Let me welcome my panelists quickly. The man David Benedictus Erasmus Tawe. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. You left out one name, Nangwe.
Okay, Nangwe. This guy is too interesting. Welcome to the program, Dave.
Thank you very much.
How was the weekend?
It was not only fantastic, but also fantastic.
Fantastic. What is that again? Wow. Okay. You define that word for us. Let me welcome Moses too. Moses, welcome to the program. Moses, can you unmute? Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Saba. And let me say hi to all of my colleagues in studio with you. It's a pleasure to be back. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, Moses. How was the weekend, Moses?
Well, the weekend was good. A friend of mine who lost his wife. The funeral was last Saturday, and then yesterday. Some of you who are my friends on Facebook, we have a heavy downpour of snow here in Newcastle, Delaware. But other than that, everything is okay. The family as well. We are grateful. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm sure all of what we said from the UAE will also join us very shortly. I'm sure Jacob Jala said he will join us also. And Representative Smoke Mulba also will be joining us, I'm sure, around 8:30. Let me welcome you, Edwin Fambula. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Slavo.
How was the weekend?
Well, it was great. The weekend was great. Spent it mostly home, doing some research, and also following the news to the tragic events that took place in the United States and also in Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a tragic event where a group of people were on the beach celebrating, and then unknown gunmen went there and opened fire and killed.
Those sort of incidents always occur in the U.S. I don't know, and I thought they had a ban on the possession of guns again, especially these sort of small pistols. I thought they had ban on that.
Yeah, but that's how
some restriction on that.
That's how the war is now getting to these hits and these anti-Semitic rhetorics, and so even if they have these restrictions, people still find a way to get those things to actually commit the crime that they want to commit.
Wow. Okay, welcome to the program, Ed. And let me welcome my namesake, George Kennedy. Welcome to the program.
Well, thank you.
How was the weekend?
Well, my weekend was full of both.
We're getting terrible feedback.
Happiness and joy. Happiness and sadness.
A mixture of that.
Yeah, the fight that.
Yeah, that'll be sorted out. Just go ahead.
Yeah, the Alumni Association, the Ames Zion University. The feedback is so terrible. the Alumni Association at EMA Science University, of which I'm part of.
Okay.
We had our elections, and so as co-chair, the commission has spearheaded the entire process. But the bad news is that a well-made of mine was tragically killed in a motor accident recently. Ellis Payman, he was buried on Saturday. I mean, I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand to go there even to see the casket because so terrible. Today his birthday.
Wow.
So I mean,
he died before his birthday.
So
our condolences, George. And let me welcome Oliver Wiesel there from the UAE, from the United Arab Emirates. Welcome, Oliver.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be on the show, and let me register my apologies for not appearing on Friday. As you may already know, we were concluding our Shiloh 2025, breaking new grounds at the UAE and across the world with the window people. So by the time I got home, it was so late, so I couldn't come on the show.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, you are here tonight. Yeah, you are here tonight. So, listeners and viewers, kindly share the show. It promises to be very, very interesting tonight. And of course, tonight we'll be doing an analysis of the budget transfer debate. Senator Amara Conan, Bapuru County Senator Amara Conan, and a budget consultant, Emmanuel Lord, at the Ministry of Finance. They've been, exchanging some intellectual notes on budget transfer. In fact, Amara Conan has said it's a form of indiscipline. But we're going to read Amara Conan's portion of his document, and then also read that of Emmanuel Lord. And then we do our own analysis as well. Also, we'll be playing a short video, depicting a negative story of the country's education system. Hey, we saw that video. The building so terrible. Are we improving the system with this sort of government investment, donor funding, all going into the education system? Are we really improving the system? We'll talk about that tonight, and also the issue of corporal punishment. I can remember in Tanzania, he has been banned. We'll talk about a situation in Liberia where I think a 15-year-old girl was savagely beaten by her school teacher. We'll talk about that also. We'll play the video and talk about that. The LERC has approved electricity tariff for Liberian household. We'll talk about that really, the statement to that effect, and we also talk about that tonight. So tonight we have major four discussions, topics that we'll be looking at. But gentlemen, let me ask just in a minute. Let me ask you first, David Benedictus Erasmus Namwitawe, what's been on your mind that you brought to the program?
Well, what's
just in a minute?
What's on my mind? Look, the continuing suspension of the national ID card exercise is inconveniencing a lot of people, including me. Yes, people say delay is dangerous because some are delayed. We didn't get a national ID card. So even doing banking, going to the bank, and you want to register your business, want to do a lot of things, it requires your national ID card or your passport. So, the continued ban on the exercise is causing a lot of inconvenience for many Liberians, including myself. And that's what I'm talking about. I visited the business registry and went to inquire as to what does one need to register his business. And it was one of the things. It was one of the requirements that you have to have your national ID card or your passport. So even if your passport is expired and you don't have the national ID card, quite frankly, you wouldn't be able to do business any business. So just wondering.
So there's a need to hasten the process.
Just wondering when that ban, with that suspension of it
will be lifted. Okay. Thank you, David. I think your concern tonight is very genuine. We're hoping that the government can look into that to lift the ban and so people can begin to get their identification cards. Let's hear from you, Ed.
Yeah, just to Mr. Tagle, I'm so disappointed about that story. I don't think the national ID card or the passport should be a precondition to register the business. I think that would be helping to strangulate the economy to a larger extent, because to register a business should be easier. So I think that's a bottleneck that should not stop business registration. I mean,
but that's a prerequisite.
Thing that passport, the information you want from the national identification card is on the passport, even if it is expired, that is personal information.
Okay.
It shouldn't start business with that. But what really on my mind is that there are two key things. Number one, on that national
you got a minute.
On that national identification issue, I'm hearing news that will be starting this January.
Okay.
And if they start, I'm also hearing it's speculated that will be $25. I don't know if that price is true.
Okay.
On the other hand, the news here is that the inter-money transfer system between Lone Star
and
Orange takes effect tomorrow, on the 16th of December. That's something that
it's commendable.
Yeah, it's very, very commendable.
And welcoming. I think let's give it out for the CBL governor. They did extremely well. Like we said, this program is not anti-government. People shouldn't see it that way. Not it's a pro-government also. If the government did some positive stuff, we're going to celebrate the government. But if you did something at all unfortunate, we're going to beat on you. Let's hear from you.
Finally, I wanted to say the last thing first. I saw our musician, one of our musicians, Pocket Raw.
Yeah, we got a video. We'll play that. We'll talk about that.
Thank you.
Ed, let's hear from Ed. Yes, Ed family.
So basically, what is on my mind? President Boakai made a statement last time about government looking after all the abandoned properties that government owns. And I think that process has started. I saw some work with the Unity Conference Center.
Yeah.
And I also want to say that the government needs to look at the EJ Road building. That building is giving Liberia a very ugly facelift. And that property, I don't think it belonged to the Turi party. Because my mother told me that when they were working, they were asked to pay it to contribute towards the construction of that property. So by right, it belongs to Liberian people. And the second thing, again, government also have something called eminent domain. Government can also exercise eminent domain on the property because that property has been sitting there for ages. President Salif, 12 years, President Weah, 6 years, and we still keep going on. The government completed the central bank and gave that particular area a good facelift. That building can be turned into something else. And also the Monrovia City Corporation too has to take a step forward. All of the abandoned buildings within the capital city, they have to look for the owners and give them an ultimatum to make sure that these buildings are taken care of in a year or two. If you don't have the money to take care of it, then give it out for a lease. A government should take it from you, develop it, and put it on a rent. But you can't have these buildings. In fact, aside from that, right on the Crown Hill, the old Eurobank, almost about 3-4 buildings in that area completely dilapidated. It gave the city a very bad face.
I agree with you. Oliver from the UAE, let's hear from you. What's on your mind that you came to this with? And before we can go into the major discussions, what's on your mind, Oliver?
So let me comment on the concern of
I think you sounded good.
I think I have to go off and come back on. Your internet, it's tripping.
Saba, you're not getting me.
You have to go off and come back on. Just go off and come back on. Let's hear from you, Mr. Sandy. What is it on your mind?
Okay. From my end, two things. First, I just want to talk about how interesting our society is. There's
Oh, Sandy, I see you have to. Sandy, you have to go.
Are you hearing me? Do you hear me?
We are hearing you now. Yeah, yeah, you are clear
Okay.
now.
Yeah, I apologize. So as I was saying, I just want to talk about, our society briefly. I recently penned a press release expressing my opinion about the situation in Foya, and that has really generated a mixed reaction from Nigerians. So today I was reading one of the comments, and someone wrote, "Oh well, you come and build yours," and I just laugh about it. I said, "Okay, this is Liberia." So it tells you how sometimes some of our people think. They don't look at things in a broader context. They look at it from the very myopic point. That is not about Moses Seni. Moses Seni is only raising concern about, hey, if we're doing this, the people have the right to know. Now, let me move to the next phase. This one, I just want to provide a little bit of information in reference to the question that you asked regarding gun ownership in the United States. This is how it works. In the United States, in order to qualify to purchase a weapon legally, first, you must be age 21. Two, if you have any mental health history, any mental health diagnosis, you will not be qualified to purchase. Take, for example, someone who is schizophrenic, meaning someone who hears voices or see images. Such person will not be qualified to purchase a weapon. Anyone with mental health problem will not qualify. Then anyone who has a history, who has a criminal history, such person is not qualified to purchase a weapon. And there's a whole laundry list of requirements that people need to meet. So I just thought to provide this information so you guys can know how it works. With all of these stringent regulations put in place, like you said, so people still manipulate, people still find way to have access to weapons. Thank you.
All right, so gentlemen, welcome to the program. Like we said, tonight we'll be looking at 4 major discussions. There has been this debate between Bapolu County Senator Amara Corner and a budget consultant, Emmanuel Lord, over the issue of budget transfer. We're going to read the statement released by the both, and then we'll do our own analysis. Also, we're going to play a short video depicting a negative story of our country's education system. We hope we can play that video quickly. And also, should corporal punishment be banned? We heard a story of a 15-year-old girl who was, mercilessly beaten. She would still have corporal punishment, being practiced in our school. In Tanzania, I understand that has been banned, because of the way some of the instructors used to savagely, beat on people's, children. Also, we'll be looking at the LERC approving electricity tariff for Liberian household. I think I understand that they've dropped that, but we're going to read what we have, and we can also, talk about that tonight. But gentlemen, while we're talking, about all these things and hearing the news about these things, tonight, let's begin with Boki Raw. This guy, a musician who has been arrested by the DEA. Initially, we understand that he was picked up and then later on released. We don't know how true is it, but then picked up again just today. And there were protests by some musicians. We'll talk about that quickly. Let's talk about that before we can go to the budget transfer debate. Let's get the video when Boki Raw was at the DA today, at the DA headquarters. Let's get a video, and then later on we'll play when he was taken to the court.
Across our life, we are here at the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency office. Coming to you, where today, artist Boki Raw, known for his name, Boki Raw. You know me, because of the speculation there in the public. Want the public to know now that he's been in jail and he's making his first day in court. Other suspects as well are going to go to court today as well, so the public has to be informed. The public has to know this.
Okay, so that Bucky Rob, initially he was taken to the DEA headquarters, and then later on, let's try to play the video that has to do with Bucky Rob being taken to court. He was taken to court today from the DEA headquarters, and then later on the protests. So let's talk about the.
All right, we are still here. Bucky Rob was brought to the court here this morning. Is about to leave.
Yeah, eventually live.
He will be put back in the LDA pickup. He's about to leave. About gathered here in protest of free Bucky Rob. This is what is happening outside as we speak.
Okay, so let's pause that video. So Bucky Rob was taken first to the DEA headquarters, I'm sure, to get a statement, for which he was taken to court, and then there were some fans or musicians. There were a couple of individuals who protested. Let's watch the protest video quickly, and then we can talk about this.
Justice of God. God on the international committee to seek justice here. The DA need to be sued. The DA is just leader.
Y'all look at the face, it's so rogue. You're getting all the Nigerian people, you can get to join, you can tune in that. That's small weed, baby. You're not sheep. You're not sheep. You're swear you're talking up. So put a uniform on, you're talking up. You're talking fucking up.
All right, so gentlemen, that's the issue with Bucky Rob today. You watched the video. Let's begin with Moses. So what's your takeaway? This issue of Bucky Rob has been eliciting a lot of arguments. Some said that the quantity that was caught with him not sufficient enough to take him, to arrest him or take him to court. There are others who believe no, the quantity is enough. The fact that he was caught in illegal possession of narcotics, he deserves being arrested. Let's hear from you, Moses. What's your takeaway with the video you watched?
Look, so this is how I'd like to begin. Sometimes when you see some of these things unfolding in our country, when you're looking at it from afar, it tells you how weird our society is. We do things that are very unusual, very, very unusual. First, let me begin with the alias, Bucky Rob. What does that mean? What message, Bucky Rob, the alias, what does that mean? How do you explain that? you hold intelligent conversation with anybody and you call the name Bunky Raw, the person will ask, but Moses, what are you talking about? You know, it doesn't add up. But again, now let's come back to seeing people in the street demonstrating. It tells you how unusual the unusual way we do things back home. There are laws on the book that clearly defines what is considered to be a billable offense and a non-billable offense. Someone linked to the possession of drugs. The LDA is executing its statutory mandate. And you see a group of Liberians in the street, they said they're protesting. Protesting about what? What are you protesting about? This person is accused of committing a crime. The person will be giving his days in court. Why are you in the street? So this is where I would like to say it is unimaginable. It seems unreasonable, incomprehensible. It's just difficult to fathom. Extremely difficult to understand. Yes.
Okay, let's hold it there. Dave, let's hear from you. What's your takeaway? You watched the videos.
Look, it is an obvious depiction of a naive society, very naive society. I watched a similar incident of this nature. I remember immigration officers arrested some aliens who entered Liberia without the requisite credentials. And a group of Liberians came and said, oh, yeah, leader people, man, you know, is it the only group you'll see entering the country? I mean, obstructing the work of the immigration. Now, we have laws that forbid the use of illicit substances. Bunky Raw, whether you celebrity or not, you admitted that you consume or you use marijuana. You admit it. And you were arrested, taken to the court or taken to jail or wherever you're taken, and people are protesting. That is a demonstration of high degree of stupidity and naivety. Look, we've always said,
but those fans don't put our protesting. All fans of Bunky Raw.
Oh, what are the fans? Look, as I speak to you, look, the great United States have always emulated. As I speak to you, Harold Kelly is in jail, in prison, you know, because he's committed crimes that are not tolerable by American laws. And I understand there's another popular musician. There are a lot of celebrities who are in prison in so many countries because they violated the laws of this country. And you don't see people celebrate and demonstrating or protesting against their arrest or their imprisonment. But in Liberia, it's a different thing. That's the same way we got in the street yesterday. We sang the song, You Came My Mind, Came My Power, vote for you, no book, you know. So that tells you how naive our society is.
Okay, let me leave you there. Ed?
Well, for me, I would take it from the legal side. I think we've seen some of the challenges our system is faced with when it comes to the issue of the rule of law. And sometimes people who are civilized, when they listen to these things and they see these things, they ask us, are we really serious people? So we need to do more to educate our people. You know, you said something here, Bunky Raw was arrested, taken to the DA. The DA is not a courthouse. The DA can hold you temporarily. And if you have a lawyer that can request for your release, because this thing happened on a Friday, he was taken to the DA headquarters. He was released to his lawyer, and he was asked to come back to the court where charges were filed against him at the Pinsbury Magisterial Court. Based on that, they could send him to jail. Now, if the fans are so much in love with Bunky Raw, I think what they should be doing now is to mobilize resources to be able to pay his lawyer good to be able to defend him in court. But the law does not give any quantity of drugs. If you are caught in the possession of drugs, it's illegal, and the law will take its course. Now, first of all, the drugs that was even caught with him, we saw it out there. So even if you want to consider it being something that he's using personally, but that's huge quantity. He even have a skill in the house where he weigh those things or so. All those things are evidence. So they could look at those things and say, no, but this can only be for consumption.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
therefore, he's in jail. His legal team now has to, put themselves together to go and fight his case in court.
Is that case available? It's a
No,
drug case.
no.
Okay. Let's hear from you, George Kennedy.
I see the country taking a better trend. I see people not seen as being above the law. And that's why it's positive about what is happening now. We see big names being tried, being taken to court. Whether they win the cases or not, we see precedents being set. That alone will serve as deterrence to others that you are not off the hook and you are caught, you'll be dealt with. That's the message that I'm seeing here. The behavior of those people, the society going to ostracize it. Society going to be educated over time. And, as these things unfold, people will say, oh, leave. I mean, we cannot interfere in this. It's the law. And, once these type of things continue.
The law is the law.
The law is the law.
Okay. Now, gentlemen, with this whole Boko Haram stuff, I know very shortly we'll transition. We are hearing some folks who believe that the Boko Haram arrest is political. In fact, there are speculations that he was asked to do a song for the Unity Party for its December 6th program. Unfortunately, he refused. And in addition to that, there are some folks, in fact, who are bringing out his photograph, with him wearing beret of the CDC, and something that, because he's a member of the Congress of Democratic Change, so he's been targeted by this administration. Moses, let me begin with you on this. Well, what do you stand?
Well, it is difficult for me to really make that connection. But the only thing I can say is that when the laws of the country are being enforced, those enforcing the law should do so on the basis of honesty. If Moses Seni, who comes from hypothetically the UP, is in violation of the law should also hold Moses Seni accountable. If Mr. Sober George, commits a crime, and he comes from the CDC, the law should apply to him. And the law should apply to everyone, regardless of where you come from. That's how good societies function. But when people begin to cherry pick and say, oh, well, this person is my friend, who belong to the same political group, let's look the other way, it makes it real difficult to get things done. And that's one of the greatest challenges of our country. Even this administration, that's one of the greatest challenges it has. Enforcing the laws of the country, rule of law. That's one of the weaknesses of this administration. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, because the argument is it's been deeply rooted into the fact that up to present, the rape case involving the former Minister of Youth and Sports, it's still lingering, and up to now is yet to be seen or yet to be found. And some people think that, well, because Boko Haram is from the former ruling establishment, so he's been targeted, while others who are part of this establishment committed crimes, and up to now they have not been picked up. Oliver, let's begin with you. Do you share that view, or you do differ?
Sabat, for me, can you get me now, Sabat?
Go ahead.
All right. So for me, I do not share that view, honestly. Boko Haram is a Liberian, and Liberia is a country of laws. And so if the FDA suspects anything concerning drugs, which is under their right to regulate the country, they have every right to invite him for investigation. I don't see any reason why somebody would say, because he is from the CDC, and also the government is trying to target him. I don't believe that. I think we Liberians need to come to a place where
let me just help you. Let me help you. The reason why the argument is coming out is because, as you speak, the case involving the former Minister of Youth and Sports, Bryant McGill, it's yet to be adjudicated, to its conclusion. No, I'm coming. Those who present this argument, they believe that Brian McGill, allegedly committed the crime of rape. He should be behind bars, but because the man Bucket Raw is from the CDC, so he's being treated the way he's treated now. So why you wouldn't support, or why you wouldn't shrink along with that view?
But I'm saying to you, Saba, that there are two separate cases here. In fact, the Brian McGill case, the government is still finding evidence linking him to the crime. So you cannot use that as a basis to say the government is trying to target a Bucket Raw, whose home they went to.
Oliver, are you saying over 2 months now, government is still finding evidence to link him?
Of course, they don't have enough evidence.
Okay, let me hold you there. Dave, let me come to you quickly.
Look,
do you have the evidence?
Let me hold you there.
Sabo, I'd like to draw a dichotomy here. You made reference to the issue of Bucket Raw and the issue of the allegation of rape brought against Brian McGill. If we draw a dichotomy here, they're two separate cases. For instance, Brian McGill has denied raping that lady or whoever girl, and the issue of evidence is still hasn't been produced yet. They want evidence, because you can go to court for evidence. You accuse them, anybody can get and say somebody raped my daughter. I mean, there should be some shred of evidence that will be adduced in court. In the issue of the Bucket Raw thing, Bucket Raw himself has admitted. He was caught with a substance. He also admitted that he uses it for a particular purpose. Even I understand Mr.
Well, let me hold you there. Let me hold you there and amend maybe.
Do some amendment.
The case involving Brian McGill. Are you in country? Do you know that often when an individual is accused of rape, the person is automatically placed behind bars, and pending there until they can go to court? Rape is non-bailable, like the drug law.
No, to be very frank with you, when the Brian McGill thing came about, there were a lot of arguments that women were using the issue of rape. They were using the issue of rape to get at men. To get at men.
So when did I'm coming. We're not going to be specific about Brian, but the question is, do you support the argument that because Bucket Raw is from the former ruling establishment, the CDC, and so he's being targeted?
It sounds nonsensical. Okay. Absolutely nonsensical.
You don't support that?
I don't support that. It sounds absolutely nonsensical. That has nothing to do with which party one belongs.
Okay,
and I agree with Moses when he said, look, the law should be enforced, but the law cannot be selectively enforced. But it sounds absolutely nonsensical for somebody to say, because Bucket Raw is a sedition, that's why he has been arrested, because he's caught in possession of drugs. If it did happen to a Unity Party partisan yesterday and that person was not arrested, though he was caught or she was caught in possession of drugs, then it's a different story. But that we haven't heard such a story like that.
Okay, let me hold you there. Yes, Ed.
Let me say this. I do not record where Bucket Raw has ever made a music for Unity Party. I know the person who actually sings for Unity Party or make music is only got their boy, and then I think one time this boy or Kobasi or somebody, So the whole idea that he was invited to go and perform absolutely no sense.
It was not even on.
No, we are not talking about his performance now. No. We are talking about the fact that there's arguments. There are arguments that Bucket Raw is from the former ruling coalition, and so he's been targeted wrongfully. When there are others in the when there are others who are associated with this administration who committed almost the same crime, but still being
at this other instances.
So let me just state this, right? It has not been proven legally that Boki Roy is a member of the CDC or not. So even if he is a member of the CDC, nobody is above the law.
Okay.
If you break the law will take its course. Now, you try to draw a dichotomy on the rape case. I will tell you today, almost all of the legal scholars in this country, they have serious issue with the rape law. In fact, people are now start to say that the rape law needs to be revised because most of the pre-trial detainees that you see today behind bars, some of them are rape cases. And these are just allegations. And sometimes when these cases go to court, they realize I put their makeup story against these people. Now you're violating people's right. Placing them behind bars because the law says that once the person say I was raped, they handcuff you and put you behind bars. So you go. In fact, in the Chief Justice last opening of court, he said over 100 and some more young men are behind bars, being accused for rape. And then when these cases go to court, they realize that these people were just lied upon. So if the police is now saying that, look, our law says that before we even arrest you, there should be a probable cause because tomorrow morning we'll be called to go and provide evidence. This lady shows that she didn't show that she was her blouse was tuned or she was did it. In fact, she gave conflicting statements or for locations.
Okay,
everything.
We are not going to deep into that.
We try
to draw a picture.
Our legal system
we're trying to draw a picture.
Evidence.
Ed, we're trying to draw a picture. Supporting an argument which indicates that because Rocky Road is fine, so you don't support that. Okay. Let's hear from you, George Kennedy.
I won't go into details of what I'm about to say because it's still before police investigation. There are a few cases of rape that I'm following that right now, the accused are still working because the police do not have any sufficient evidence. And this what I'm talking about, they are poor people, do not have anything. That's what moved me to say probably the deputy minister case brought this kind of reform in the police. Because the law says an accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of competence jurisdiction. It is not the court that can sentence and all that. So we said I criticized the police that time heavily, and these people, the other people that were accused before, even the late Vanny Jassy, my brother, my friend, struggled in jail for that thing. So this is the reform. Bucket Rock case is different because his home was such. He was caught with an attempt. They didn't win the case. He misbehaved to the officers. Nobody responded to him. And he admitted to the act. Yes, I did it. Yes, I got it. So it's a different case other than just being merely accused. So when the court thing, he was not wearing political party t-shirt or paraphernalia. He was caught as someone, a Liberian citizen, caught in violation of the law. So I agree with Mr. Sandy and everyone here that look, the law should be enforced on everybody.
Okay.
And that's from that point I came that time when I spoke, I said the country is taking different trend. I seen popular people, powerful people taking the court. It's good. In this case, it will make even the honor men to have faith in the system.
Okay.
So the law enforcement officers should do their work without any interest, any personal interest or party interest or whatsoever.
Okay, so you're listening to the Nighttime Heat erected on Pram FM 105.5. This program is being relayed by Radio Gagema in Nimakari, Kwatika in the Bonkari, and of course, a Radio Wologisi in Lofakari. We are streaming live on Pram FM Morovia 105.5. We are also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. We want you to share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight. Gentlemen, let's try to transition now from the whole Boki Road arrest and subsequent detention to this debate between Bapuru County Senator Amara Konen and budget consultant Emmanuel Lord. Let's try to read what we have on Senator Cornyn first. Bapolu County Senator Amara Cornyn has accused the executive branch of carrying out illegal and reckless budget transfers and warned that the Senate must not approve Liberia's 1.2 billion fiscal year 2026 national budget without a far more rigorous review of how public funds are being shifted away from critical development priorities. In a lengthy Facebook post over the weekend, the former finance minister said the House of Representatives rapid passage, can you imagine, rapid passage of the draft budget without what he described as adequate scrutiny has reopened long-standing concerns about fiscal discipline, legislative intent, and respect for the law governing budgetary transfers. Cornyn said his public intervention triggered a wave of reactions nationwide, including sharp personal attacks from former colleagues, but insisted that raising red flags over budget execution is not political grandstanding. Rather, he said, it is a constitutional obligations of lawmakers charged with safeguarding public resources. Okay, so let's try. I'm sure we got the message of Senator Cornyn. He's questioning the budget transfer. He says it's part of it's indiscipline. It's reckless, and he asks the Senate not illegal, and not he asks the Senate not to approve. Okay, so let's go to a reaction to the Bapolu County argument. Let's go to a reaction from Mr. Lord. Let me read to Mr. Lord quickly. Let me read Mr. Lord. Okay. Look who's talking about budgetary transfer. Add two honorable senator. You two honorable senator, are you talking about budgetary transfer? Then it's a rebuttal to Senator Cornyn's statement on the House passage of the fiscal year 2026 budget by S. Emmanuel Lord, senior budget consultant. I'm ordinarily inclined to treat professional and political commentaries released on Fridays with cautions, guided by the belief that the end of the work week should offer a moment of reflection rather than provocation. However, silence becomes indefensible when a former minister of finance, a sitting senator, and the chairperson of the Senate Committee on Public Accounts advances a narrative that misrepresents lawful budgetary transfers as acts of financial recklessness. Such assertions are not only misleading, but troubling, given the weight of institutional memory and the technical competence expected from someone who has presided over the nation's fiscal machinery. The issue: budgetary transfers, when undertaken within the framework of the Public Financial Management Act and approved appropriations, are established instruments of fiscal management, not evidences of indiscipline. He trashed that. He says not any form of evidences of indiscipline. To characterize them otherwise is to distort both policy intent and fiscal practice, and in doing so, unnecessarily erode public confidence in the budget process. Public discourse on national finances demands precision, context, and responsibility. When senior public officials choose sensationalism over accuracy, the consequence is not merely political disagreement, but the correction of informed debate. Liberia's budget challenges are real and complex. They are not served by rhetoric that prioritizes alarm over clarity. Honorable Senator, be reminded that, for example, in fiscal year 2012-2013, transfers and reallocations from PSRP totaled 192.6 million out of a 672.1 million budget. 23.6% yes, 20 weight point. That is not a hiccup. That's not administrative discretion. That is a fiscal elephant tap dancing on the statutory threshold. Under the law, that level of movement should have triggered fasting red lights, sirens, and a legislative convoy demanding explanations. But somehow, that year has been quietly placed in the rational attic, covered with a sheet and labeled "Do not disturb." Okay, I think I was just trying to remind Amara that those days there was similar budget transfer. Let me read this last one, and then we can continue. Now, compare that to fiscal 2013-2014, where transfers total 74.7 million out of 582.9 million, 12.8%, still higher than the roughly 4.5% anticipated for 2025, but comfortably below the legal threshold. In other words, routine, lawful, and about scandalous as labyrinth shelving books. Okay, gentlemen, let me leave it here. The issue is that I'm sure all of us heard reading. Amara is making a case, and that case is also being he's also intending to take that case to the chambers of the Senate. Already, he had called on his colleagues not to do exactly what the lower house did. You heard he even described the passage of the budget as 4G. Let's hear from you, Mr. Edwin Farmer. What is your take? What's your takeaway from what Amara is saying and what versus what Emmanuel Lord also wrote?
First of all, I think it is disingenuous to Amara's colleagues in the lower house to classify their passage of the budget as 4G, because they have equal functions. They're there for lawmaking, oversight, and representation. So when the budget went there, they gave the budget to their committees, and those committees looked at it, and they came up with a decision to pass the budget. The budget is before the Senate. Now, if Senator Collins have any issues, or he has some, financial understanding of the process that he thinks the lower house did not take cognizance of, He needs to bring it to his colleagues in the Senate and say, can we look at it from this standpoint? Can we meet halfway so that we can be able to do XYZ? But I like the response from Lloyd, you know, because today people who are being advocates, yesterday they did the same thing. Now, and sometimes we have to take the politics out of these processes also. We know the budget is a projection. Sometimes government made these projections, they made appropriations to certain areas or so. And down the line, there are issues that comes out that were not budgeted for, right? Sometimes they have to reappropriate and say, look, because we did not budget for this, but this has happened. So how can we move this money here to be able to do that? And that's why lawyers say, once it happens in the space and it's property money, that's not violations. Because
and that's not being financially indisciplined.
No, the budget law call for that, you know. And you see, the laws are not crafted in stone. Sometimes that's why even our instructor tell us, sometimes the law is reasoning. That's why they said they will always tell you the Supreme Court reason. Sometimes for public policy, for the good of the general public. That's what these laws are made for. So God forbid, if you have maybe an outbreak of maybe some contagious disease, maybe in Lower County, you didn't budget for that, right? You want to tell us that we should sit on the Ministry of Health budget and don't go in there to take money from there to say, okay, let's go and handle this, let people die in Lofa. You don't do that. God forbid. You don't do that. And it is actually showing to us the limitation of this man. Because look, let me say this. I have no issues with Senator Conner, but he's not an economist. Senator Conner is an IT specialist. That's how come he was recruited here on a presidential leave. He went to he started with how to call it, planning. Yeah. And then he was
in the president's office.
He was in the president's office from PDU. He went to planning and economic affairs. He left from there, and then I think he went for some few weeks you
just said something. You made a revelation that he's an artist. You think that's the reason why during his tenure at the Ministry of Finance, he was often referred to as a budget shortfall minister?
Of course,
because every budget year there was shortfall.
So when you see specialties, people who are specialized in certain things, when they take over, you see how they move, right? Take for example, the current finance minister, Gafwan. Gafwan worked at the central bank. He was budget director. He became finance minister. In as much as he even left his territory at a point in time to become foreign affairs minister, but he still understands because he has the fundamentals. But these guys who come by night because of political, you know.
So let me know that you think Conner is just being political.
He's been purely political.
Okay, let's hear from you, Josh Kennedy.
Thank you. I'd like to issue this addendum. Minister Conner, Senator Conner is a friend of mine, but it's good to say the truth, to describe the current budget as being illegal, budget transfer the last time as being illegal and reckless. It baffles me. I think right now, okay, he's not a technician right now, he's a politician, so he's speaking in the political too. And I'm also taking a bite for the fight that you and the current people at this Ministry of Finance worked together in the past government during Madam Salif time. You all work as a team. If you had an observation or whatsoever, the best thing I would have done in his shoes, I would have made a case internally with them rather than going on my Facebook page to write. It's not going to happen. It's not going to change anything because the budget law, to my own intuition, is around 10%. You can do transfer, if I'm not making a mistake, the PFM law, you can transfer 10%. But right out there saying during his time were around 13%, 12% transfer. Then what is the moral to argue that today? The transfer that took place the last budget was say above that. Is that the argument? And if it is the argument, was your oversight and what is your oversight now relative to enforcing the law to ensure that if there were anything above 10%, that you will be able to hold that we hope that this transfer should not take place again about this. Because you have the oversight responsibility. as the chairperson on public account. You deal directly with the Ministry of Finance. So for me, I see.
You think just been political?
Yeah, I think he's been political, and I think he's a good guy. Probably he's not happy with that he might have wanted or happening in the government that he helped to bring to power. I think they should go back to the table to draw.
So his criticism is rooted in that.
Yeah,
okay,
probably. Yeah.
Let's hear from you, Dave.
For me, I'd like to look at the genuineness of his concerns. Look, I'm not going to sit down here and talk and condescendingly talk about Mr. Connor or even the other guy. I think they are all professionals and technicians. I disagree when my brother family say, oh, the man's an IT specialist. Somebody can be an IT specialist and also be knowledgeable in other areas. So had it not been the case, Amara Connor wouldn't have been named finance officer, right? Though he has some challenges. He has some challenges. Well, he raised some genuine issues. For instance, he underscored the area where salaries are increased on unexplained increment in salaries. He talked about that in his argument. He also talked about fundings intended for priority projects diverted to other areas. Yes, he said that, look, sometimes the unexpected can happen and government can use monies intended for education, for health, because government wouldn't say that and say because the money is for health, people should die of a particular disease. Yes, of course. But Amara Connor, to me, shouldn't be condemned. He raising an issue. Let's look at the genuineness of the concerns he raising and not the political side of it. I don't think Amara Connor is.
Let me ask you to increase to increase the salaries. That's a sum of civil servants. Does that require explanation? Does that require explanation?
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand your question.
You said his concerns are genuine.
The man talk about unexplained.
Can we lower a little bit, sir? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm on the talk.
Salaries.
Thank you, please.
If civil servant salaries are to be increased, is the finance people that determine whether the increment needed for civil servants or not. So there should be an explanation what civil servant salaries.
Should there be explanation?
Yes, of course.
Okay, let me hold you there. Let me hold you there and come to Oliver. Before I come to you,
so I don't think we should condemn Mr. Connor because
no, you've spoken already. You've spoken. Oliver, let's hear from you.
So I think Senator Connor is being confrontational here. You know, he liked this public attention to paint the government and his colleagues ugly in the eyes of the public. Senator Connor's characterization of the passage of the budget to me is condescending to his colleagues. You see, he has a responsibility as a senator. Here are common things I thought he would have done. Firstly, do internal consultation. First, engage fellow senators and representatives privately to understand positions and build common ground. That is what we expect a senator to do, not to always come to the public and then start to speak everything out, trying to seek public attention. He should honestly do what they call strategic lobbying. Quietly lobby key stakeholders and committee and the groups within the Senate, and then come up with a position. But to just say everything the guy did was illegal and just start talking in the public, in my opinion, Senator Connor has something on his sleeves and he has to come out to talk. Now, institutional oversight is important. Senator Connor is responsible. He is a senator representing a county. He needs to know how to speak to the public. Speak to the public only after exhausting internal remedies. That's how I think it should be done. But to just come and say this one is illegal, this one is now you have created conflict, confusion in a Senate.
Yes, sir. Senator
Please,
Corner
the
will not
mayor.
say
No.
what
Dave,
you want to hear
Dave,
or what Mr. Family
the
or
mayor's
Kennedy want to
speech.
hear.
The mayor's in flight,
Am I
please, Dave. You spoken already, Dave. You spoke. Give him a chance. If you want to come to the mayor, we'll give you time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, go ahead.
I have followed Senator Corner for a while now.
Okay.
He has always been like that. He has become very, very much confrontational. So I believe he has something under his sleeves, and I will come up very soon, and the public will know that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let us hear from you, Moses.
Yeah. Look. This is what I would like to say. I sat there. I listened to you guys. And I want you to do a sober reflection. The comments that emanated from Mr. Family, my brother George Kennedy, and our brother Oliver, all the comments directed at Senator Corner, very condescending, disrespectful. Oh, well, Corner is an IT specialist. First, he was in the office of the president. Corner is seeking public attention. And these are the same things that when people criticize, or when I criticize what is happening within the government, then you come and say, oh, the guy is being condescending. Are you not being condescending to an honorable or senator? You guys are berating this guy. You're not looking at the substance of what he said. Instead, all of you have chosen to put him down, that he's a non-entity, which is absolutely bad. He has the right as a lawmaker to express his opinion about what is happening in the Senate. Don't forget, everything in the legislature is based on numbers. We all here can agree that the budget is going to pass. Senate Corner will do all the intellectual analysis when that budget gets to the Senate. The people have already made a decision. I told you the legislature is compromise, is an extension of the executive branch of government. This morning, I read a piece from Dr. Toba Ninsua regarding Corner's analysis of the money allocated, the over $100 million allocated for the healthcare sector. Corner analysis was that this money is inadequate. And that was also supported by Dr. Toba Ninsua, a name that is iconic in Liberia in the area of healthcare. So for you guys to sit here and later to put this man down, I mean, it is mind-boggling. I'm being honest about it. I don't think we should proceed like this. Yes.
Let's have everyone wants to come in.
He called my name too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You gotta come on.
So nobody was condescending to Senator Corner here. What we say that if you talk,
no, you are condescending. Mentioning that the mayor just an IT specialist, you're condescending. No, you don't. No, you said the mayor's an IT specialist. That means that he should be a No, I disagree with that.
Go ahead. He's gonna make it. You're coming.
Go ahead.
I know you want to be Senator Corner's spokesman.
I ain't see that again.
Give me a chance to speak, right? Now, my reason for saying that is that, look, I'm a student of economics. That's what I did initially, right? To be able to do this economic analysis, it takes a lot of different kind of studies that you have to go through. And there are just few librarians that we have here that have those kind of competence under their belt. One was this guy who was here, Boima Kamara, who lived, yes. Gaff. And then there was another guy who was at the central bank. He taught me, I don't want to school. I just forget.
Yes, go ahead quickly, make a point.
You know, now the issue here is that, look, the legislature works in committees. Senator Corner he's the chair on public account, for God's sake. If you see these discrepancies, I was told even the legislature budget was increased from the lower house, right? If you see these things, if you have some difficulties in trying to, play with these numbers, it is your duty to sit with the Ways, Means, and Finance guys and say, look, I think there's a challenge here with the Ministry of Health budget. Can we move some money from here to put into here? I'm against the amount of money given to the NSA. I'm against the amount of money given to certain institutions. So that's Senator Amara Connor's job to do appropriations. So you can go into those budgets and shift those money into critical areas that you want them to be. And then because you are the chair of public accounts, and mandate that based on this particular budget that we are passing, we're going to monitor the expenditure aspect so that we don't shift money from these critical areas to other areas that are not actually like priorities areas. Now, if you do that and you checkmate, because now the government of Liberia have an open budget initiative framework, they also gave a fiscal outturn report. Now, as these reports are coming out, you're making follow-up to make sure that these things are not done. But when you come to the public to try to demonize the people who are trying to manage the fiscal affairs of this country,
then that's unfair.
That's unfair.
Okay, yes.
And then you don't want us to talk?
Mr. Kennedy, let's hear from you. Yeah, we'll open the line later on, Dave. We'll open the line later on.
Mr. Sunday, I was condescending about Senator Amara Kone. The first thing I said, maybe you are not listening, maybe the snow is in your area.
No. Well, so are we here? Any Liberia snow here?
The first thing I said, Mr. Sunday.
No, don't.
I said,
the man is the reference to Dave. The man said, Mr. Sunday.
I said, Honorable Senator Kone is a friend of mine. That's the first thing I said, right? And then I said, but for him to describe the budget transfer as what he's talking about as illegal and reckless, I thought that was very harsh, and he was being political.
And referring to budget transfer as financial.
Yeah, you know, that what I said, then he was being political.
Saba,
I think, excuse me, please. Go ahead.
Dave, you have to wait. Let him make talk.
I can defend myself, brother.
Go ahead.
Senator Kone, I defend myself before him. I can defend myself anytime. He went the wrong way in this process. The other thing I said was that he's worked with these people who are the Ministry of Finance for long. They are colleagues, they've been friends. If he had issues, they should discuss behind the scene or discuss it in the Senate committee room. But going on the Facebook page and doing this thing, it won't help. It won't move any needle. Is that condescending, Mr. Sandy? Is that why you got condescending? You call my name.
Gentlemen, let me come in.
Yeah, listen.
Shut.
So when he described the horse passage of the
what I'm saying is that
4G, you know what I mean?
From what I'm hearing from Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Famole, they agreeing that Senator Kone makes a lot of sense. But they are only annoyance.
No, they're
annoyance with Senator. He didn't do it secretly. He
no,
they don't even agree to that. They don't agree. That's their concern. Why he didn't talk behind the scene? He came public.
No, they don't agree with him. They don't agree with the Senator.
That's the impression I got from.
All right, gentlemen, let's go into the A aspect. I mean the B aspect of this whole discussion. A lot again came on the Senator because the Senator spoke about how the government is underfunding agriculture. So let's listen to Lord's argument against the Senator. The last straw, a necessary correction to Senator Amara Kone's narrative on agriculture funding and budget credibility by S. Imaya Shaw Sr., budget consultant. They claim that Liberia is underfunding agriculture to the point of sabotaging economic growth is far-fetched and misleading, but should be considered true only if one does bother to look past the surface. Once you squash the paint, the entire argument falls apart like a barn built with nails. Okay, let me go to the substance quickly. But let us not get ahead of. Okay, Honorable Senator, what exactly happened to the roughly US 300,000 grant free money you received under the ReTrap project in 2023 for your farm? You remember it? The money meant to support agricultural productivity. They want taxpayers funding. Yeah, they want taxpayer funded. The one that was supposed to show results. Yes, that one. Have you reported on it? Have you shown the impact? Have Liberians seen even a photo of what their money accomplished? Until that little matter is cleared up, it becomes difficult, very difficult, to take lectures on budget credibility with a straight face. So in the spirit of national patience, let us keep this rebuttal short and focused. Okay, gentlemen, let me not go far. But this is Tagwa, you were coming up and talking. you just read it, so we listened to it, all right? Now, besides, we heard around here when the Senate kicked off, there was this workshops and public hearings and monies were spent.
Almost $1 million, I think almost $1 million or so, just for.
We don't know whether that was reported on by the senator, but let me hear your takeaway, Ed, concerning the funding to agriculture.
You know, my late father always used to say that when you're in a glass house, you don't throw stones. You know, and some of these things are going to come out because the informations are there. You know, it's almost like the quote unquote loan process that came up here with the Ministry of Finance, public sector development fund, and few people, you know, around here took that money, and then at the end of the day, those people wanted to be the critics against government. Come on, man. That's unfair to the public. You know, so what we see here, look, the senator, you have a duty. Appropriations of the budget is made by the Liberian Senate, and in fact, it's done by the legislature. If you're so interested in agriculture, it is your right to say, gentlemen, ladies, why don't we remove some money from the legislature and put it on agriculture? There is a bill on the Senate floor right now by Senator Dillon to reduce the salary of legislators. If you have neglect shouting over each other and saying that it's not going to happen. Senator Dillon say if we actually fair and want to move this country forward, let each of us agree to take $5,000 as a take-home salary. They say no. Then you can move the rest of the money into agriculture. You know, but you can be talking two sides of your mouth.
But when you heard the rector talking about the retrap project also.
Of course, it's an open secret. We all know here how some of these, how some of these officials acquire money from the system to go and open private farm and XYZ.
That was part of agriculture money.
Of course, it was part of agriculture money.
Okay, let me hold you. Yes.
Does that farm belong to the state or it belong to Senator Kone?
Mr. Law's response did not address Senator Kone's concern. That's the only thing I want to say. Rather levy allegation. It may be true with his allegation, but when Senator Kone said, let's add more money to agriculture, that was an issue he was raising that even the president considers number one on his priority. So I thought that the Emmanuel should have spoken.
Apparently he might have done it, but I didn't go down.
So probably he didn't go down. But he's right on that. I think, but the president has always defined the role of the Ministry of Agriculture. It's not to get a kind of huge money because it's mostly not for farming. It's not, Ministry of Agriculture is not there to make farm.
It's a policy arm of the
government. It's just policy.
It's a policy arm.
It's there for policy, to assist farmers, private sector farmers. It's not there to go make government farm. It's not the role of the Ministry of Agriculture. So a lot of people want the Ministry of Agriculture to get hundreds of millions of dollars. The investment in the agriculture sector mostly is in the private sector where they do what they call cooperatives and other where the government support. The Chinese $100 million deal that was signed that coming in the cassava sector is an investment in the agriculture sector in Nigeria. A lot of other investments coming, private sector investments coming.
Okay,
coming.
Okay, let's hold it. Dave, you listen to the rector. reminding the senator about some retrap money, but $300,000. You think?
You know, I know the guy who is in Dubai where the internet survey week.
Come on.
We're agreeing with you people. No, let me tell you something. When people are having controversies and they're having bitter exchanges, people say things because they're making palaver. He said, I'm not going to receive some money and were diverted into personal, but then report the matter to the asset recovery. Then I'm going to recover that money. It's not a matter of just saying things only to bring somebody down. It's about providing substantive evidence to substantiate your claim. I'm not backing Americana yet. What I'm saying is that, look, we have to be careful with people's reputation. It's not a matter of people's reputations are their wealth. Your reputation somewhere is your wealth. Somebody cannot come and damage your reputation just a twinkle of an eye. And that's my argument here.
Okay. Yes,
he didn't address the issue.
Let's hear from you, Mr. Sandy. Mr. Sandy?
Who can be that?
Yes, Sandy is off.
He's off. Okay. He's
internet got problem.
Mr. Sandy, you are muted. Moses. Can I unmute? It seems that all right. So, gentlemen, let's go to
Oliver on.
Yes, Oliver. Oliver, let's hear from you quickly.
You know, so like I said earlier on, and I'm a thing that even though Mr. Sandy said we are being condescending here, I'm not. Senator Corner has been confrontational, and I mean we got to say that the senator and other senators in that Senate will have to be real with Liberian people. You know, bringing issues on the floor to the public the way he always does is not correct. I am not saying everything he said is right is wrong, but I am just concerned about the approach. And Senator Corner knows that he is not doing many things right that Senate, most especially in the area of agriculture. They all know the games that they are playing, but he lets them come to the public to make it look as if he is the only clean guy. And this is my problem. This is my problem. Senator Dillon is now asking them to take just 5,000 home. He has made no comment.
Yeah.
Meaning, he is not agreeing with Senator Dillon. But just to find a simple point and come to the Facebook and then start talking. That is not being responsible. I'm a thing that he needs to do internal consultation before coming to the public. It is called responsible communication through Sunday channels, not just come to the Facebook. We don't need that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You know?
So can I just say something quickly?
Yeah, Moses, we've been trying to get in touch with you, but you
Yeah, look, I apologize. I'm actually multitasking. I tell you, I brought my vehicle in for repair.
Yeah.
Look, let me quickly say this. Look,
You listen to the last reading?
I listened to the reading, the argument being raised about the agricultural project and what the amount going to do with the $300,000, right?
Yeah.
So I listened to that, and I have listened to you guys, and I still hold a view. I just listened to Oliver, and he says this guy takes the social media to gain fame, to gain popularity. This man is your senator. Let us now look at the mode as to how this man is addressing the issue. Let's look at, is he saying something that makes sense or not? That should be the debate. But for people to take to the airway and literally put this man down because he's expressing his opinion about what is happening with reference to the budget, I have a problem with that. I don't think we are proceeding rightly. This is not what we should be doing. We should discuss the issue, but not to put people down.
I agree with you, Moses.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who's putting people down?
Nobody putting people down.
Who's putting
Hey,
who
it's
down?
already up. The man already up. Then say we put him in there down. Man, I send it up. I don't know.
Mr. Sani,
Oliver, when I say put people down, basically I'm saying you guys are literally denigrating this man.
who guys?
Well, you know what I mean when you say the man takes to social media to gain fame?
Okay.
Why can't he use his full consultation?
No.
The more
That-
doesn't matter.
That have
The
been the
more
song.
doesn't matter. What matters here is what is he talking about? Does that make sense? Does he have to support? Does the senator have to support the bill that emanated from Darius DeLong? Does he have to support that to show that what you see makes sense or not?
The senator.
Moses' question Moses' point here is, and I agree with that. Let's look at the genuineness of the concern
All right, gentlemen.
raised by Amara Khan.
Mr. Tagbe, when I said that Mr. Lloyd, Emmanuel Lloyd, did not address the issues raised by Senator Cornyn when it comes to support to the government, support to the agri sector, I was condescending. Mr. Sandi, was I condescending about that? So if someone disagrees with you, it means that they are condescending.
And the thing is that, like I
So,
said, right?
and
No,
now the
that's
question,
right.
the question goes back to you.
Senator
Oh.
Cornyn and his
Because you
colleagues.
disagree with-
1 minute, gentlemen, 1 minute.
Because
Senator
of
Cornyn and his colleagues has the constitutional authority to do appropriations.
appropriations.
Nothing
They do.
stopped them
Okay, gentlemen.
from saying that
Gentlemen, let
we
me hold you guys there quickly and go to the C part of it. We did it A, B, and C.
Yeah,
That's the last
fine.
part written by Emmanuel Law quickly. He said a rebuttal, a measured response to Senator Cornyn's call for extra scrutiny of the fiscal year 2026 draft budget. Honorable Senator, let us start with the part of your statement that truly deserves a standing ovation, not for brilliance, but for audacity. You boldly declared that the House of Representatives did not perform a thorough scrutiny of the fiscal year 2026 budget. Really? Honorable Senator, really? One must admire the level of nerve. This after weeks of revenue hearings and days of expenditure hearings conducted by both the House of Representatives and the Senate, all open to the public, documented, and attended by people who see interest except you, Honorable Senator. To now wave away the entire process as no scrutiny is not an innocent mistake or a lapse of memory. It is a calculated destruction. It is an attempt to erase your own absence by questioning the integrity of colleagues who showed up and did the work. That's not oversight. It is dangerous. It is unfairly maligned.
Obviously.
While exposing your own bad faith. So let us ask the obvious questions. Since you seem unwilling to ask it yourself, Senator, were you physically prevented from attending the hearings? Did the Capitol lock its doors only when you approached? Because unless you were barred from entering, your accusation is not an oversight. It is a public performance of selective amnesia. And before we go further, the honorable thing would be for you, Senator, to publicly apologize to the House of Representatives for implying that the collective judgment is inferior simply because you chose not to participate. You heard this guy?
Yeah,
definitely.
They both been holding public hearings.
There's been a lot of
and he didn't attend, and so yes, let's hear from you, Moses. Yeah, Moses.
Quickly, let me just beg you guys, give me a few seconds on this. Honestly, if I were the editor of Front Page Africa, or where this reporter from the analyst emanated from, I would not have published it.
Why?
Because it has created more confusion. Look, this is the typical way we discuss it. It's the same problem at the Ministry of Information. When someone raises an issue, you speak to the issue. To talk about whether the man, why he didn't go to session, that's not oversight. That's not an issue. Speak to the issue.
Moses. The record is saying, Moses, the record is saying, the record is saying, if the senator had gone to section, he would have raised some issue like raping.
It doesn't matter whether being in session or not. If I were the person who penned the article, I would have done a critical analysis of the points this guy raised and provide the needed clarification. I'm not going to consider whether he went to session or not. But this is the way we did it.
Moses, the record is saying both houses went through the budget, but the senator chose not to participate. So then, if he chose not to participate, why would he be asking?
Choosing not to participate doesn't mean that he didn't follow the discussion.
It is not about whether he went to session or not. The argument he raised, does that make sense or not? That's the debate.
Okay.
The argument this guy raised.
Let me hold you there. Oliver, before I come to Ed, let's hear from you.
So, if Senator Corner had gone to the hearings, then we wouldn't be discussing all of this, But because he failed to go there, now he has issues. There's the musician in Liberia they call 1030. That guy made a music recently. He said this attitude is not good. If it not be you, it will not be me. 1030, just 1030 music. Senator Corner should have gone to the hearing because he didn't go there. He tried to rubbish everything that sound-minded, educated people like him, did. That is why that rhetoric is asking. In fact, by doing so means erasing your own presence. So Senator Corner, for me, like I said earlier on, he likes to seek public attention unduly too. And we are not going to support that. We have to grow beyond that. Liberia is an old country. We need to show responsibility and start acting like kids. I maintain that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And let's hear from you.
So you see, it's good that I brought Senator Corner's profession under the scope light, right? And I will tell you why. Senator Corner believes that because he was once finance minister, so anything that has to do with financial instrument, he should have his input in it. If it is not there, it's not good.
But why doesn't he have the right to put it?
No, please, David.
I'm asking a question.
No. You can ask.
Isn't it right to have an input?
The man is speaking, David. The man is speaking.
No,
you have the time.
It's a simple question.
You have the time, David.
He's a senator. He has all the right. But the rector asked a very good question. Senator Corner was in the United States. Basically, say, I think he injured his leg. He wanted to play football. He injured his leg. He was in the United States taking treatment. The legislature, committees on Ways, Means, and Finance of both houses met on a regular basis. There were budget hearings. There were invitations from the legislature to the folks at the Ministry of Finance. There were other ministries and agencies that were called. There were discussions held. Now, Senator Corner were out of the country. All of this process went on, and the budget was passed by the lower house. He comes and wants to condemn the entire process because he was not part of the process. Who stopped you from being part of that process? You choose to be in the U.S. to nurse your injury. You came back at the time meeting when this whole process is now over, and then you want to come and say, no, because I was not part of it. I was once finance minister. I'm the one who has authority in here. So I should say that this is what we need to do. It's late. Okay. And this arrogance that we always put up, like my brother just said, this arrogance that we put up, that in this thing here. If we're not part of it, it's not good. We need to have that mindset away.
Okay. Yes, Edward.
One giant that in that room when it comes to budgeting is a speaker, Richard Kuhn. How many people there? Even Senator Kone, even Senator. How many of them there reach to his level? The men teaching at graduate level at the University Library. Yeah. Calling accounting Kuhn, that his area. So let's face the reality. I don't agree with some of the condescending languages that the rector used on the Senate, but I like the way he called the senator to order. You know, I like the way he called the senator to order, because the truth is, no matter what we do, the senator has one vote. The only way that vote will multiply, I say he'll be able to lobby with his colleagues to convince them. Probably the senator coming to public because he doesn't have the number. So he came out to gain public sympathy. And that's why I said going to Facebook before my brother said I will be being condescending. Going to Facebook, discuss this kind of thing. It's not a way forward. If I had seen him right now in my box, even he sent me a message, I would still say the same thing to him. Because he got more than 50 ways of entering this matter.
Surely.
Senator Kone, in the dying minute, when this particular government was about to be cheated from coming to power,
he stood up.
He stood up.
And
he fought for this government to come to power. So his voice should be listened to. But how he presents it is a problem. It's the way that we're looking at, everybody looking at.
Okay.
Dave,
let me hear from you.
So you're looking at style of presentation and you're not looking at the sense in his presentation. That's the impression
the way
you
the message goes, let me respond to you clearly. The way the message goes, the way you deliver the message has impact on the response on that message. Whether that message is good or not.
One thing you guys continue to emphasize that, the man was not here, you were hospital nursing you.
No, Mr. Say,
don't say
you guys.
Look,
say,
I said being absent or being absent from the country, absent from the discussion doesn't forbid him from, speaking of what happened at the meeting.
After the fact.
Because the first thing is that you can be in the United States or England, wherever, any part of the world, you can follow what's happening in any part of the other part of the world.
A contribution.
Like in Liberia, can make a contribution. So, I mean, you people are being very unfair to Honorable Kone. Look, let me tell you something. Can you imagine the Lloyd man and others are dismissive of everything Senator Kone? That means all what he said, all the concern raised, no sense in it, no sense they found it. They dismiss of everything he said. So that means that Senator Kone, a one-time finance minister, doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay, thank you.
He's not agreeing with the majority.
Thank you, Dave.
So he's wrong.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. All right, so gentlemen, we have to transition quickly. We've already through that. We handled that whole debate between Senator Amra Kone and budget consultant Lord in three phases. We handled that. So let's now play this tape concerning the depicting a clear picture of our education system. Let's look at this short video about a building, a public school. Let's watch.
The Nasan Public School, a government-owned institution, and we are here to speak with one or two persons. These are the students. Keep following us as we enter the classes. This is a government institution. See what happening. See what happening. See. Which class here?
What is this? We call this our office.
Office for what? For who?
For the principal.
The principal's office?
Yes.
Wow. Is this where the principal sits?
Yes.
Are you killing us? Are you joking with us? Or you saying reality?
True.
There's a government institution you're talking about. So this is the principal's office.
This is our office where the principal sits.
Which one is this? Is there a desk for him to write?
For a table, for a desk. It's not easy, brother.
There's a need for the government to intervene.
Sure.
And so let's see. This is the schedule.
Yeah, we have the old schedule. There is a new schedule. Wow, this means on public school daily schedule. My God.
I see a feedback box here.
Yeah.
What's it for?
Yeah. For students and teachers also.
Okay.
Feedback.
Yes. Okay. So what can you see in the box when you open it?
I think nothing is there now because we work with the student, to the satisfaction with the community, the certified. So nobody have put in anything over there for feedback.
You mean this is a window? Window.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go to the class. Let's go to the class, please.
Which class is this?
Which class is this?
There is a APC, and we have to 1 to 2 because the children, they are plenty. So we share them, then we do combined class.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So grade ABC and what?
APC, we have the nursery for for the place also. Then the APC are there.
Okay. What's in that class?
Let's go in 4th grade class.
10th and 4th grade class.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. 10th and 4th grade. So, I'm seeing a blackboard back and forth. How do you do it?
Let's end that video. ABC are there as well. Can you imagine that something?
One of these
Moses, let's begin with you. Now, gentlemen, this is serious. Ordon a rescue administration. This is serious. So we'll come to rescue.
Why you want to add the video to rescue?
But when it's a public school. No. But let me.
That's what I'm doing.
Please, let me say that.
Can people say problem because we
provided facts. Yeah, provided facts. I agree. Now, Moses, let's hear from you. Moses, you saw a public school, and we allotted. Is it 20 million?
Is what I think. The money allocated for education, I think, is. I was listening to the Minister of Education. I think it's $100 million.
Yeah,
I think it's $100 million when I last listened to the Minister of Education.
Okay, fine. So we see school of that nature. I mean, in contemporary Liberia, on a rescued administration. What does this say about our education system?
Well, someone, look, before I speak on this, let me hear from the rescue brothers. Someone, let me hear from my rescue brothers, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Famule.
I raise money, I can pay for podcast, so you don't rescue.
This is really sad. When I saw that video, I just couldn't wrap my head around that in the modern age, and you have that kid that can't even keep my animal in, and somebody referring to that as a school. So you pay people thousands of dollars. You buy a vehicle for public officials, the minimum $45,000, especially those in the legislature. And you are educating our children in caves, slaughterhouses. What does that mean? Look how dirty that place looks. And you got somebody talking about his principal. I mean, that is sad. This thing should not be happening. But that is reawakening. I think we need to begin to realign our priorities of the country. Education needs a lot of funding. Healthcare needs a lot of funding. That's my personal take. The current situation in the country is very sad. And let me close on this. So we're not only talking about structures. We're talking about educational system that relies heavily on what they call volunteer teachers. Can you imagine that? People working for years without regular compensation. That undermines the educational sector. When people are not paid, they do everything they can to survive, including what? Engaging into criminal activities. That's why a lot of our high school graduates can better read or write. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Edwin.
So I will start from where he ends about the volunteer teachers. I think, every now and then he beat on the legislature, but sometimes he's not even following. because I think there was just a hearing with the Ministry of Finance and the legislature to discuss on the issue of these volunteer teachers, where they have now enrolled most of them on the government payroll.
Okay.
In fact, even MCSS president or superintendent
I
or
think
what
they need to,
was invited.
they need to enroll this guy
Now,
on the payroll. They
I'm
can
coming
say
now.
ABC a year.
Well, I'm looking at teacher.
Slobber,
I don't know the principle.
Slobber, I have seen these things for real life.
Yeah, sure.
You know, in 2022, I went to the Southeast when we're delegating the Maryland Plebo grade.
Mm-hmm.
We got to a town and I saw the kids, you know, similar structure like that. They were all sitting on the floor, using chalk, you know, to write on the sitting tired. They have used the battery to black the board, and they were using the cassava to write.
Wow.
So we stopped in the town, and I walked to the school and I stood to the door.
Which year was that?
In Grand 2022. 2002, yes.
Who was in power at that time?
2022. Are you asking?
No, asking.
Early
I want to hear
Judges
for a more.
Early Judges
the year is okay. We done with
Really, don't distract the man,
old
please.
age problem. Like
No, now early Judges are leader.
No. Then when you talk about old age, that one will come to beat on you.
No, Chief,
A rescue
please give me
administration.
a chance. Let me finish my
No.
Let me finish that.
Thank you.
I want to make
Thank you.
that
If you go down
Mr. George Kennedy. No, Mr. George Kennedy. You are a rescue administration. We don't expect to be saying that old age problem. No, it shouldn't be old age. That's the reason why. No, I'm coming. That's the reason why. No, Mr. Kennedy, the reason why you came and you said you came to rescue. If you've come to rescue, you should rescue the education sector. You should rescue everywhere. That's not. But it's not your time to talk. You're the mentor.
Slobber.
Yes. Right here, Kennedy.
I stood to the door, and when I saw these children, I shed tears.
In 2022.
In 2022. And a colleague of mine asked, he said, "But Edwin, why are you crying?" And I said, "Because this is supposed to be the future of this country. Look at where they are. In Grand Crew." I'm saying this in Grand Crew, right? Fast forward. Just today, the Minister of Finance said we need to raise around $2.5 billion for the educational sector of this country. The other day, we all were here when the donor community said that they were going to build 100 schools. So these are all assistance that are coming towards our country. These are old age problems that we're trying to find a way to solve. This school just did not pop up yesterday morning. It's been here for more than 15 years, 20 years, if you ask these people. Now, it is good that these things are coming out so the appropriate authority can see them and start to earmark these areas that, look, we're supposed to build 100 schools in the next 5 years through the World Bank funding or so. Can we allocate some of the resources to these schools? And I agree with Brother Moses. As we are building these infrastructure, we need to have teachers, train them. Now, let me tell you what the Nigerian system did. They have this whole copper program, wherein the state gave you some subsidy when you are going to school, all right? And when you graduate, the state assign you to some of these leave work counties to go there and perform your copper duty for a year or two. In that way, they put you into the classrooms, they pay you, and you are there. And sometimes some of these young people who are coming from college, they end up falling in love with the classrooms and they remain teachers. We need to start looking at how we can model our system around this. We came here with free education at UL. Why don't we sit down and start to think? If we're giving people free education when you graduate, can we send somebody to Grand Crew to go and start teaching? Can we send somebody to Cape Mount? Can we send somebody to Lofa? As a commitment that when you graduate, yes, you will do it. You're not doing it for free. You will get something, and then after a year or two, you can come back to Monroe.
Okay, yes, Mr. Kennedy.
The reporter, they didn't do well with that video.
Okay. Then first criticism, go ahead.
First criticism, nobody knows where that school is. Yes, nobody knows.
But it's established that it's a government school.
How do I believe that?
The reporter is indicated.
They just said a government school. I mean, as a journalist sitting here,
in another word, are you saying that a reporter manufactured the story?
No.
Okay.
No. He blundered. He showed the photos pictures speak a lot.
He showed a desk.
Yeah, he
showed what the case are setting.
The pictures
he showed the student population.
The picture that he showed, the video that he showed, narrated a lot of things. No way to deny anything. But what made against suffice anywhere? He didn't get basic information. Where is his school? Who's the principal of the school?
So the question is,
but it is not good for the country.
Did you call the name of the school, sir?
Thank you.
No, nothing. Nobody knows the school name. But nobody knows where the school is.
Go ahead.
So I didn't want to say this on the radio.
You said it doesn't
erase. It doesn't erase the fact that such an environment is not good for people to go to say that school, that classroom. They say it means that we have lots and lots more to do. Maybe the government seeing this picture on Facebook, maybe they can try to trace a particular place, the country to go see. The failure of the journalists to tell us where is it. Okay. And, it would have been easier for us.
Most of those
but it is bad. It is bad. It is not worth being in our countries in this 21st century. I think it's time for
especially on a rescue administration.
This is where
let's hear from you. The conditions at our schools are some of the problems.
We'll open the lines very shortly. The phones are ringing.
Are some of the problems.
I think we'll hold a lot of discussion.
Some of the problems inherited by the Bouakas government. But that also suggests to me that the same United Power of the government that was in power 2022, where
2022.
You said you went somewhere, you cried. Which year? 2012. Okay. You said what? We said which year was that? 2022. And that time Ellen was in power. You were in interior.
Okay.
Then what you said?
We want to call president's name. We don't want to say.
Okay.
He just called the year.
Wait.
Because
Ellen was in power. Ellen spent 12 years in power.
Up to 2017.
Right. From the days of Ellen to the days of George, we are now to Joseph Boakai. These problems have been there for a long time. Ellen, the same United Party government was in power for 12 years. They did not tackle these situations. These situations existed at that time. Ellen did little in terms of improving the educational system, most especially in the Leeward counties. John came to power and he made it worse. He was not even thinking in that direction.
Good.
Now, Bouakai has come to power. The situation remains the same. But what I can tell you, somebody, is that, look, I'm hearing good news that the government has started renovating or rebranding some of the public schools. I even visited one quite recently within the BTC barracks or near the BTC barracks.
They call it Anna F. West.
It has turned brand new. I understand that money prepared for that. Look, quite recent. Look, in the Leeward counties, there's a school in Picnic called Bweta Junior High School. It's a public school. Quite recently, Southeastern Liberians in the United States had to contribute money to face, desk, chairs, armchairs. We're in the United States raise money to send a Picnic to face armchairs. Public school, Bweta Junior High School. Then, let's talk about the issue of budget. There have been budgetary allocations for the school system. So where did the money go?
Years in, years out.
Years in, years out. These are some of the issues that Admiral Connor, Senator Connor is raising.
No. You want to bring that?
Wait.
No, don't bring that issue
I want to try to make reference. And I'm not going to detail that. Monies were in a budget for the educational system.
When you were Minister of
to affect all the public schools across the country. But since that time, public schools they stay struggling. Look at the people got a drag with sour as crayon to write on the board. Can you imagine for the first time in his life he cried because he felt sorry for
for the
conditions, the deplorable conditions under which the children are living. Up to now, students, children in the Leeward County are sitting on the floor during a kind of modern times under a rescue regime.
Thank you.
So sitting on the ground.
100 schools.
Sitting on the ground. Now, people have to lash at the government before now in recent times start making efforts in terms of renovating the schools.
No.
Who the people?
Government?
Critics.
No.
That's not true.
The donors. So thank God that thank God that the government is making efforts in those areas or in a particular area. Another thing, Sobo, is that affecting the public schools is that look, education ministers are appointed. They said that in Monrovia.
Thank you.
They didn't tour the country to see the condition for themselves, to see the conditions of the schools.
So now
they said that in Monrovia. No, look, I'm a realist. I'm a realist. I'm looking at all sides of the coin.
I know.
They said that in Monrovia when they are appointed education ministers, they say that in the air-conditioned offices, and they depend on county DOs and CEOs, and they just lie to them, and they believe that. But if, as an education minister, if you make a country tour or a nationwide tour to see the conditions of schools across the country, you have a clear picture of what happening at all the public.
All right, let's wait them.
I think it's
let's hear from you. Quick, let's can open the lines. Oliver, let's hear from you. Mr. Wisa.
Yeah, so you know.
You started
here, Sabal.
You started.
Yeah, I saw the video and I watched the video earlier. Oh, and even commented on that video. It is actually in Grand Bassa County. And I according to that principal, that school had been there, I think he said around 1940 something. It's a very old school. But then I commented and said that principal needs to be arrested. He has been in that school since I think he said 2001. He been in the place as a principal. So a poor learning environment negatively affects both teaching and learning in many ways. I am a professional teacher here. And when you talk about school building, that is not, I don't even know. What is that? You know, poor learning environment influences students' academic performance, behavior, motivation, everything. Emotional well-being is damaged as a result of poor learning environment. That country called Liberia is joking with education. It's not about any presidency, even the community dwellers. When I saw that school in that community, for that number of years, they could build that one house without even government coming to them. But people don't take responsibility in the country and say everything just government. For more than 30 years, you have that thing. You call it a school. It is a disgrace. It is I don't know, an affront to the children who go to that school. Liberia as a nation need to rise up to protect its children. When I came to the UAE and I realized that every single human being is an industry. In Liberia, we abuse people. We abuse our own children. We don't respect intelligence. There's something they call emotional intelligence in educational psychology. If you keep a child in that place, you don't expect that person to be activated. You don't expect that because his emotions, the way he thinks, the environment will limit the way he performs academically. So, you know, we're not going to politicize that. So, honestly speaking, the government has said they are trying to build, I think, 100 schools. In my opinion, it should be even 5,000 schools. You need professional teachers to do that in the entire country. Thank God. If all goes well, I'll be launching a book. My first book is going to be educational psychology and digital learning. In the country, people are not even focusing on what they call educational psychology. And that is why you see many things are happening. You keep children in a cave and you call that school.
All right. Thank you, Oliver. You made a point. Let's try to open the lines quickly.
I think Moses want to chip in.
Yeah, Moses, quickly. But before that, let me just announce the numbers. Before that, Moses, I'll come up to you. 0778460793. Again, 0778460793. Or better still, 0886050507. Again, 0886-050507, or this alternative line, 0776-540-987. You can use this alternative line, 0776-540-987. That's the number to call. Let me take this first call on the line quickly. Moses, I'll come back to you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
This is Pascal Davis.
But Pascal, I tried to get in touch with you today to send you the invite for you to come on as panelist, but you didn't show up.
Yeah, I tried to work out, so hopefully I will join the team, hopefully, and will be very sharp. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So, I'm concerned. And every time I ask, how did we get here? Somebody said Amara wasn't here, so he got no case to make. But somebody you were here when the previous budget was being awesome. I don't know whether your panelists were in Liberia, but then were they here?
No, we're in Guinea.
The budget was awesome. He cried.
We're in Mali.
Oh, remind them. The budget, Amara raised that concern. The budget on the President Bouaka 2024, 2025, sorry, was odd. Are you saying to me, because Amara wasn't here, a man who served this country as Mr. Panag
Well, today is important.
cannot have an idea and express his opinion, even if the budget has been tampered with? Gentlemen, where did you guys put your conscience? Why are you burying your rightful earnings? Because you support one government. Are you talking about Boko Haram supposed to go and the judicial system supposed to work? But the two you rape is a non-bailable offense. Until you go to court and exonerate yourself, the law says you're supposed to be being barred. When something is non-bailable, you don't have to be found guilty first before you go to jail.
Okay. All right. I think you made your point. You made your point, Pascal. So thank you.
You can get your.
Thank you, Pascal. Thank you. You made your
Can
point.
get your caller
077846. Let me take this other call in the line.
Man, I should not be calling on the show, so
No, we will have to checkmate him.
to be
Good evening.
David Coty, my name.
Let's hear from you quickly, Cody.
Thank you very much. I'll be very brief. Let me start with the school issue first. John F. Kennedy, the 35th president of the United States, said, ask what you can do for your country and not what your country can do for you. So sometimes let's help them do something. In 2016, I single-handedly renovated a Virginia public school right here in Virginia by raising $49,000. When the school was brought down by the Ministry of Education from 12th grade to 6th grade because it was not fit to be a high school. Now, coming back to the issue concerning Amara Coney, I've always hated Bukharists. I don't like them.
Bukharists? What
does that mean?
What is that?
Well, I created my own word. From the Bukharists, yeah.
Okay.
Bukharists are leaders who think the people they lead us are a bunch of stupid fools. We're not stupid here. Senator Conner, who was commonly known as budget shortfall, is on the grandstanding. I can tell you that. Even there's $300,000 issue concerning the farm, his farm. Nobody's trying to bring anybody down here. Philip Brown has a good story on that money. One time, Amara Conner was trying to give money Captain Harter, and Philip Brown called on him on radio and said, "You better shut up. You better leave Monica Tan. If you continue talking, I will release something on you concerning that same money." Since that time, he doesn't talk about it. Now, for Amara Conner to have said his colleagues in the lower house passed the budget at a 4G something, that was actually condescending. Let me join all of you. People are condescending. You can't insult your Lord. How much book do you know so much? How much do you know so much about the budget that other people don't know? You must get up and insult that. And like one of your people in the studio there mentioned, appropriation is handled by the people in the legislature. You can't always come out to show off as if to say you're the only one who knows about figures here. Just consult with your colleagues. Even those are the Ministry of Finance. You were there before. You got colleagues there. Talking with them. Nobody is saying that people should not come public to talk about issues. But there are certain issues that can be handled behind closed doors.
Okay.
Easily, if you really mean well.
Okay.
Very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Cody. 0778-460-793, or better still 0886-050507, 0886-050507. Let's hear from you, your name.
First of all, good evening to the panelists. I'm very happy today to be on your network. Sekou Fofana is my name, member of the United Party Intellectual Bureau. Happy by the all because of God, you can get control on your show. You know, they guy always rule on the people, and that's good. And that doesn't because we are not empowered to you just cannot insult people, so you got to get control of that. So please, we listen to show this is unique platform. So I want to insult everybody.
Okay.
And people on the platform, they are unique people. So nobody we are not empowered. We can't go in the country. Having said that, let me talk about Bokeh Road business, right? You know, so the officer that was Bokeh was insulted. Let me give it out to the officer. He tell us that he is a very trained officer. If that officer will rule like Bokeh Road.
Hello? Oh, it's gone off. Gone off. Let me take this other call on the line quickly. It seems that the call is off. 0776-540-987 is an alternative line. Or better still, 0778-460-793. Yes, good evening. Let's hear from you.
Good evening, George. This is Diego, and I call for the GMB and the Jiggy Dream for Better Liberia Foundations in Dole community.
Okay.
You know, President, let me start with Senator Amarai Coney. While it is true that we appreciate all hands on the table in terms of criticizing our government that we brought in terms of making some correction, I think Senator Coney should understand that he works where his colleague is currently, working today. Gapwa is working, and I think some of the experiences that he has, he needs to inculcate it into a senatorial, analysis. Because as a senator, your duty is not to say, oh, I'm gonna craft the budget in a way that will affect the program. It's the executive who craft the budget to affect programs. And, so he is there to checkmate the government in terms of what income or outturn. When the outturns come, he will play his role in that direction. So what you need to do to play his role as a senator related to the outturn, but to come uprightly, to critique and criticize, what is lawful and done. Because when budget is becoming a law. So there's no means about to say, oh, the executive going to shape the budget before they approve all the house. So
Okay.
it shouldn't be political in his activity. What we expect from him is to just play his role as on an oversight responsibility that is attached to him lawfully. Now to the issue of Bokeh Road. Let me say this: Bokeh Road, I would never say because it's a Nigerian and say the government is wrong. That is why we voted, in fact, a young man like George Weah, he failed to exercise that authority in this country. He took government out of what? Ethnicity, out of friendship, and we applaud Joseph Boakai for implementing law.
Okay.
Order that we get him to exercise. So,
Okay, you made a point. You made a point. Let's take another call on the line quickly. Good evening. Hello? Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. All of the panelists here tonight with them COVID and the journalist conversation today. Shaba, let me of you for the very analysis on critical. But some of this my take before I talk the point. I think they show were meant for information. So if anybody calling on the show act appropriately, I think they charge to bring senator to the show.
Yeah, sure.
The man who called and insulted this is not the first insulted Daniel Sando mother on the survey show. This man insulted and then I heard that you invitation to appear as a panelist. And then very then the man will appear as a guest down there. So from the Neta Hill to the Neta Marcos. So now, I think when the drug issue in this country, so I think when I hear people saying Bucket Rob and whatsoever thing they should be releasing, and are the very people that always cry about selective. These are the very people. Now the government tries to pass the law and enforce the law, and because the executive representative is in jail for 4 years. He's been convicted and in jail for 4 years. Speech belated the son of Musa Asambelete. So I think when we see just going this way, I think as citizens we need to go from it. So I think the issue about American disagreement with the budget, for me, that and as an opposition lawmaker, that would be his place to critique the government, especially the reason the government will always pass the budget. There are 30 sectors that receive donor funding. This sector and the agriculture sector, those sectors all huge donor funding. So at times of government, that's why I always put the whole budget of agriculture. I think as a country you need to play a part.
Okay.
On budgetary support or donor partner, but I think the government passed that budget because of help. Or we receive budgetary support from international partners, but not the security sector. So
okay.
We say we should leave our country vulnerable. Only here for me, I disagree. So
okay.
I think the finance ministry, magnanimous and crafty enough of the budget. Thank you.
Many thanks. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. Or better still, 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. That's the numbers to call, and you are live. Let's take this call on the line quickly. Good evening. Yeah, Sekou, I told you made your point already. Oh, okay.
I want to say this, so like I was talking on Bucket, Bucket, officer or train officer, and Bucket, I think he have a character problem. I think that one led deportation for a local to here. Because if someone have, you can't say you stand for yourself. No one is above the law. If someone can arrest you, keep me before you vindicate yourself. But if you say I'm not saying this, but you get a skill. What you get skill for? To do what with it, and you admit it. You say you have it for enough for say you see it enough for this vision. Then why are you coming for now? Then both that you're really bugging, you're doing one. No, there's people that can be talking about law. The law is law. So let me tell you, President Buckeye, thank you for your good leadership. You will be everybody to go. So they want to be selected. The people are depend on him, but not to come for it. No, not the Buckeye come up. If you do it, even at that time, Buckeye, you will face the law.
Okay.
But I do know Buckeye, you will face the law. So nobody is and Mayu. The day you give Pascal on your show, that will be the end of the night. I'm not allowed to. That means Pascal always do the. If someone listening to Roger showing the money or whatever, you will never hear the broker because he get media blockaded. Because even the free mobile money that are coming that they're not coming today, that was responsible.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Nobody actually go to school for goodness. Nobody go to school for goodness. You call somebody, they will call you, but yeah, to everybody not they go down low. I hear this. I can even ask myself, I'm okay, my child, this is my child goodness.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You made your point. Thank you. You made your point. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Make your point. We'll take a little more calls and wrap it, and then we'll go back to our panelists. 0778 460 793, or better still, 0886 0507, or this line, this alternative line, 0776 540 987. Again, 0776 540 987. We've been doing analysis of the budget transfer debate between Senator Amara Conning and budget consultant Emmanuel Law. So tonight we've been doing that. That analysis. Also, then we played a short video depicting a naked story of the country's education system. We saw this video so troubling. We're hoping that the Ministry of Education and I will see this video and take some measure relative to improving the learning condition of the kids there. And then also, we should have spoken about the LERC approving electricity tariff for Liberian household. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, on Wednesday. But Wednesday, let me take this call up quickly before I announce the guests coming on Wednesday. Good evening. Yes, sir.
Let me say good evening to your guests, to your panelists in studio. I'm enjoying the leadership of the Minister of Public Works, on the kind of role that he's doing that listening today. I can call from Sino. Yeah, I can leave Monrovia, by 8 o'clock, and I reach to Sino at 4. That's good. But I followed the conversation today, and there was something that drew my attention. Is the issue of PASCA. Yeah, I support you try saying you invited PASCA as a panelist on the show. Yet on the very show, PASCA is using words, against your fellow panelists, and you did not even correct me, and you allowed me to end his statement. So the show is very respected, and people listen to you, and we learn a lot from your show. I don't think you want to carry the show this kind of way. Okay? One of the reasons why you see Trump and people follow Trump is because, Kelvin Denman and the rest of the others will not allow people to use such statement that what is being used. In fact, that's why if you look at the Trump morning drive, the very Pascal guy, was banned, and he had to apologize, for his attitude, against. So it's wrong. Let me conclude. I know working raw. Whether he's a United Party person, sedition, or working nation, the act that he was, arrested for, it was not his performance for the CDC. They did not go arrest him because he was performing for the CDC. They did not arrest him because they asked him to do a visit for United Party, and he said no. So they went to arrest him. He admitted that yet he was caught with drugs, and they arrested him for that. And so, whether he's a sedition, working and something, this is anybody's business. They arrested because in violation, he was caught with drugs in violation of the law. So let's allow justice to take place. Let us forget about his association with political parties, but we'll get time for that. No, but it is the law. If the guy was a Unity Party person and they caught him with drugs, the same thing should apply. So let us not politicize this. Let's allow Bobby Ross to go through the process. If he's found guilty, yes, let him face the full weight of the law.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Really appreciate your time. Let's go to our panelists. Yes, the issue of Pascal. Go to checkmate. Pascal. Pascal is sometimes he goes contrary to ethics and norms and standards, and we're not going to tolerate that. We're not going to countenance that in any way. Dave Benedictus Rasmandangwe.
Well,
you got 2 minutes.
As far as I'm concerned, Pascal disqualified himself to be a panelist on the show. And I agree with. He's temperamental. This show is not about temperaments. It's about intellectualism. People come in the show to be moderate. Yes, we'll have all the heated debates, but at the end of the day, we'll respect each other. So we don't have somebody who will be calling us idiots and stupidicians, in all fairness. So I think Pascal has disqualified himself.
Yeah, okay, please, your parting comment quickly.
He doesn't fit here. My parting comment is that, look, the ministers of education. If I put S to the ministers, because all these people who have always been appointed as ministers of information or education, they should sometimes take a time to tour the country periodically, even if 2 times a year or 3 times a year. Travel the country, make nationwide tours to see for yourself the conditions of the schools, public schools. If you get a picture, seeing is believing. If yourself visit, go on the ground to see the conditions under which students are learning, you will try to make the right decisions and not depend on CEOs and DEOs to tell you what's happening there. That's where I want to stop.
Okay. Edwin?
Yeah, well, I don't want to glorify this person called Pascal. First of all, when people have intellectual deficit, they reduce themselves into trying to insult other people to get our point across. That's not what we come here for. We are responsible people. Some of us have our jobs to do. We leave from our jobs. We come here to sit here to educate our people. We engage in intellectual debate. We will have exchanges, yes. You don't want, Pascal will not sit to his house to compare us to say what he wants us to say, to compare us to condemn a government when we know that this government is doing good because he's from the other side. We are not his stooges. So for me, I don't even want to glorify him. He can keep coming on here and try to insult us or so.
Okay, yeah,
what we want to
coming
say,
quickly.
we'll say that. What I will agree with David that aside from even the Minister of Education, most of these service delivery sectors that we have, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Public Works, the officials of these entities needs to do a county tour every now and then to see the level of work that have been done outside of Monrovia. But what I realized, most of these officials prefer traveling outside of the country because that's where they get the fat paradigms or so. Sometimes you go to the Minister of Health gone, she gone to Sweden, she gone to Germany, she gone to Belgium. Sometimes send the deputies. Take upon yourself, get in the vehicle, drive out there, go to Bapolu, go and see the health care conditions in those areas, how the clinics or the hospitals that are functioning. Mm-hmm. And then you'll be able to give a very realistic answers. So when you are called to Senate, you'll be able to give an answer why you need budgetary appropriation to be able to take care of these things. But if you leave it with the people who are there also, they may not give you the right answer.
Okay.
So I think we need to work on that seriously.
Okay. Mr. Kennedy?
Yes, the show was a great one. Again, as usual, I want to say thank you to everyone. So that was aspected to the discussions we had. We want to tell Senator Cornyn, yes, you have the right to your opinion, but most of these things, knowing who you are, we feel that most of these things you should have discussed it behind the scene. But coming public on your Facebook page, yes, it's not bad, it's your right. But we thought that you should have done better. Probably you try internally, no way. You decided to come public, but knowing who you are, we don't think that was very appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moses. Okay. Oliver?
Yeah, so let me say thank you for inviting me to the show today.
Yeah, Oliver.
I'm speaking, Soba.
Oliver.
Yeah.
Your party coming quickly.
I was saying thank you so much for inviting me to the show. Before I joined, somebody was talking about the national ID card. I think the government needs to tie that ID card to everything that happens in the country, including people going to school. Everything that happens in the country should be tied to the ID card. It's very, very important. And then finally, I wanted to say that the country called Liberia should set a standard for schools, both primary and secondary school. Let there be a standard for infrastructure for everything. It should just be a standard to follow, not to just build anything anyhow and call it a school. It is at this base It's a disgrace. What we saw today, an insult. So I'm calling on the Minister of Education and all those responsible for our education sector to look at setting a standard that all schools in the country should meet. Then in that way, we'll not have the kind of things happening in the country. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me just reference just a few of our viewers quickly. We can list all of them. Vinicius Jindabat from Nuku Town. Victor Morba from Freeport, he said they're watching. Nadia Colley, they listen from where? Anthony S. Wigon from Nimba County. Ibrahim Khalil Amadou, he said they're watching from Monrovia. Pauline Guyzon from Ganta City. George P. Cone, they didn't say from where. Okay, so let's thank all of you who've been watching. We can call everybody's name. But join us on Wednesday for another edition of the program. We'll have the National Port Authority will have a spokesman for 1 hour. He will come for us to talk about some of the issues happening at the port, some of the positives and some of the concerns also in the public. Gentlemen, let me thank all of you guys for coming tonight. Let's join and again let's gather on Wednesday for another edition of the program. We're still making some frantic efforts to get resources so we can go a full week from Monday up to Friday. We're still making that frantic effort to get some resources. Until then, thanks to the producers as well. Saba George is my name. Have a pleasant time.